Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about my terrible voice. It turns out when you spend your whole weekend in a gym yelling because you coach and maybe you have too many beverages, you could hurt your voice. But the voice that is terribly sounding is me. It's Matt. It's Beard Laws, and joining me as always is the Yo-Yo King,
Yo,
Burley.
yo.
Looking a little bit different. We both got a little bit of a a little bit of a studio mix-up.
Yeah.
His reasons are much cooler than mine. And I'm excited about this one. Hopefully. We are. We didn't hint at this last week, right? We just kind of said, "Hey, come back."
I don't think so.
But this one's an interesting one for anybody that can't read. The title is the Skinwalker Ranch. You've probably heard about it, and the first place that I heard about it was on the show Ghost Hunters, I believe. They actually, the crew spent some time at the Skinwalker Ranch trying to find some paranormal stuff and all of that, and was interesting. Whether you believe in that stuff or whether you think it's made up and fake, and it's probably a little bit of a combination of both, or maybe it's all made up. I don't know. But either way, it's entertainment, and that's why I watch it. But
apparently, there's a whole show on the Skinwalker Ranch, right? Like it's just
there was and that led me from the Ghost Hunters, and then I watched. I forget. I'm gonna say it's on Netflix. It's probably wrong, but just one or two episodes or something like that on a documentary on it or whatever. But it was pretty good. If you guys haven't checked it out, been a little bit, I think, before there. But for anybody that doesn't know, I mean, it's got a little bit of everything at this place. I mean, it's got some UFO stuff. It's got some creatures, some inexplainable phenomena, which is my favorite word to say.
This one really makes you want to. It makes you have to suspend a little bit of reality from time to time if you really want to believe all of it. Because there's some of this that's going to make you go, get out of here. It's rough.
And then there's some stuff that's going to kind of be like, really? It's kind of believable. Yeah. I want to believe, as they say. And
there is some, and what's fun about this one is it's fairly recent. You know,
not only is it recent with certain events, but it's recent, I guess, like in the headline, not the headlines, but with the documentary and, everything. It's available for other people to see that have a lot bigger budget than us to be able to not only go to the ranch, but dig right into it. And naturally, guess who else gets involved in this place at some point? The government.
The GVT.
The GVT. Hey, shout out to the GVT getting back the old TikTok, huh?
For now. For now. Maybe by the time this comes out, maybe it's off again.
Yeah, so at the time of the recording, it's Sunday. It's our boy Euban's birthday. He was fired up about TikTok ban, which was a little surprising to me, but he was fired up, and it's a birthday miracle that he gets to eat ice cream cake and maybe put it on TikTok. So, and it's kind of funny because Triple T was originally known as TikTok Tuesday. It's evolved. I said, you know what? I'm going to come up with something. I'm going to get into a new name to test it. And the two that came to my brain just as we pressed record was the tinfoil tales.
Ooh.
Or I lost the other one. So we're going to go with the tinfoil tales for today.
The lost tapes.
Yeah. And I was picturing like a weird little maybe character with a tinfoil hat and a paper. Well, we'll come up with some cool stuff.
Hippo with tinfoil hat. Yeah,
tinfoil tales. I don't know. You said you had a cool little way to start this off.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, we're going to talk about this. Will really set the scene for what we're dealing with here over at this quote unquote Skinwalker Ranch. Let's imagine that you, sir, move your family. You have a wife, 17-year-old boy, and a 9-year-old girl. You're moving out you bought 512 acres out in the middle of nowhere to just start ranching and support your family. Sounds fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Day number 2, you're out there farming, dealing with the cattle, and you look out and you see what can only be described as the rock of wolves. The biggest wolf you've ever seen.
Oh, Dwayne.
Trotting your way. Yeah, we'll call him Dwayne. Dwayne the Wolf Johnson. And he's just
probably had a Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, that pink thing was a poking. Oh, dude, this is the size of 25 tuna cans.
Even Trump couldn't save that.
Dave, don't make me laugh. I'm just gonna cough all the time.
Sorry
for the coughing, folks. If you hear me wheezing, it's probably AIDS.
Throat aids.
Anyways, you see this happening, right? And then
Big wolf.
it's walking up. It's being calm. Walks up close enough. Do you reach out and grab it and touch it?
The wolf?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, that's what Terry Sherman does. The
Old
owner of this
Terry.
property reaches out, pets it for a second, and he's just like, this is a majestic beast. A majestic ass beast, dude. It may be. And it's calm, it's cool. Then it just slowly walks away like it lost interest with them and walks over calmly to the cattle pen where there's a calf sort of near the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Reaches in, grabs it, and just tries to pull it out calmly, trying to just squeeze it out of the bars to take this calf with it. Terry doesn't like this.
No. It was all fun and games till you touched my my calf.
What do you, yeah, no doubt. What do you do if you're Terry in this situation?
Well,
What's the first thing you do?
You're a rancher. You grab the gun.
Okay. Well, Terry did not.
Oh.
Terry starts flailing his arms, runs over there, and just starts punching it. You gonna punch a wolf, sir? Nah. Nope. So
I mean, let's be honest. If this is a ranch in Texas, we're not using our fists, right? We got one on the side, one on our back, maybe one in the truck.
In Texas, yes, for sure. We would probably throw grenades first. It's funner. But we're in Utah. We're in Utah.
Speaking of Utah, shout out Copper Johns. Go to copperjohns.com. Use code BEARDLAWS.
The only part about Utah that's good. Okay.
So he's punching this wolf.
The fist isn't working, but there's a joke there. Somehow Terry, within arm's length, has himself a baseball bat. Grabs a baseball bat, goes to bashing this thing in the ribs and on the back. Wolf's not phased. Doesn't even look over. It just continues doing what it's doing calmly.
Do you think it was a metal or wooden bat?
1996, I believe. I don't know.
Metal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe metal. Okay. Anyways,
that's metal. Heavy metal.
Heavy metal. They're not allowed to listen to it in Utah.
Nope. So he's hitting this wolf like he's Barry Bonds, trying to break the home run record, but he's trying to break ribs.
He yells at his son. I believe it's been a few days since I read this part, but I believe his son's name was Tad. Kind of upsetted me a tad. Tad, go get the Magnum. Son comes back with condoms. He's like, no, it's in the glove box of the truck. Okay. So he goes and gets the 357 Magnum out of the truck.
I don't think the Mormons use condoms either.
No, they don't. Just keep it soaked, Dave.
Sorry, I felt bad. I threw that in there and you were doing the brap, brap, brap. I ruined it.
That's all good. Yeah, so he shoots it once, not phased. Shoots it twice. Third time, he starts noticing there's not even wounds, dude. There's not even wounds in this beast, this majestic ass beast. Wow. So he's like, hey, kid, get the shotgun. So much time has passed in my head. They tell it like this happened so fast, but so much time has happened in this story.
Yeah, you're petting a wolf. Now you're throwing fists, a bat, one gun. We're grabbing another gun.
Kid goes and gets the shotgun. Comes back. Bop. Goes through the shoulder. Thing's not phased, but he does start to see blood. He shoots it near the chest this time. Blood goes everywhere. The wolf stops, looks over, and then just calmly walks off into the woods. Okay? Now, Terry Sherman, I want to call him the liar Sherman because he's got a lot of these tales.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
But he says they decide they've got to chase this wolf down. Now, if you see this supernatural, majestic ass beast, you chasing it into the woods?
Not a chance.
Well, Terry's a better man than both of us, dude. So Terry and Tad go tracking this wolf Track its track. Yeah, Terry and Tad. The tales of Terry and Tad. Terry, Tad, Tales. Triple T.
There it is. There it is.
They track the footsteps all the way into the woods, and then right in the middle of the woods, disappear as if nothing happened. And that's the first tale we get of Skinwalker Ranch.
Which is wild. I mean, I'm trying to picture this. What's the first thing, though, when you're hearing this story that pops in your brain? Because my thing is like, next thing you know, Aaron Rodgers and the boys are coming back, and they're on their little excursion where they're dabbling into ayahuasca. And I mean, this seems like, in my opinion, some kind of rant. Like I'm picturing the son just listening to dad. You're on a ranch. I mean, you're in Utah. You can be disciplined, and he's just listening to his dad. And I'm just picturing the dad just punching air, beating something else with a baseball bat, shooting the gun, and then just shooting the shotgun. I shouldn't say rifling the shotgun. Shooting the shotgun. Probably, I don't know.
If there weren't microphones here, dude, you would not have listened to that entire story.
Yeah.
Neither would I. Mm-hmm. I'd be, all right, dude, I haven't got time for this. You know, just if we weren't telling somebody else's, if somebody was trying to tell me this was true, I mean, but well, no, this was the 90s. It's sitting there going like, I mean, I guess this is how a lot of religions are made. One dude just starts telling a story and it captivates everybody. But I mean, here we are, though.
Yep.
It captivated some people, dude.
They did. And like you said, it's just the one of many, the beginning. And let's talk about a little bit of, I guess, the history of the land. You think we should? So the Skinwalker Ranch is situated in, oh man, I should have pre-read this, Uintah Basin? Is that how you'd say it?
Yeah.
Utah, Utah, the Uintah Basin, Utah. And it's obviously... been known for some paranormal stuff, some strange occurrences, I guess they were there. But the Ute tribe had lived in the area for generations and has been, connected to all sorts of things. And I think anytime you start throwing some Native American history and some stuff like that, you instantly hear, curse the land and, stories, from there and rituals and stuff like that. And it adds a little bit to pieces of land. I mean, we have Native American tribes, but where we are, it's never really been associated with mystery and stuff like that. Usually it's just cheaper gas and casinos.
The reason, quote unquote, why the land may have been cursed was the Ute tribe was selling the Navajo tribe into slavery.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And apparently each of these tribes has shared several stories of these skinwalkers, which are a malevolent, shape-shifting witch. Which, that's a lot to take on just in itself. And, through the Ute tribe, they had rich traditions of supernatural beliefs. And even some historians in the Utah area suggest that the Ute people might have been forced off the land by these Navajo legends and obviously other reasons. Sense. So I guess let's break down what is a skinwalker. I mean, it's a Navajo mythology. They are said to have been witches or sorcerers, which when I think of a witch or a sorcerer, I'm thinking like Wizard of Oz or a dude with a wizard hat and a big beard.
I'm thinking, poison apples. That's all I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a shape-shifting
you think
creature.
Of dude witches?
I mean, it's 2025.
Oh, okay. Okay. You can be whatever you want to be, ladies. You want,
but back in the day, at the end of the day, if you were a dude witch, which isn't that crazy? We never heard of a dude witch. It's a
warlock, I thought, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they do in the games, right?
Is it a warlock, a dude witch?
I think it has to be. A dude witch.
I mean,
doesn't sound as cool. Warlock sounds masculine and manly. Nobody back in the day is going to be walking around called a dude witch.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a dude witch. That's nope. I mean, I'm sure TikTok will correct us, but I think a warlock is a dude witch.
That's as a warlock, a dude witch.
Yeah, you got to say it like that.
Let's ask the Google. We need to ask a warlock is the male equivalent, equivalent of a witch or a sorcerer.
I knew all that church stuff came in handy, dude. I was supposed to stay away from witches and warlocks, dude.
Warlocks. That's a Badass name. I don't want to be a warlock, but so yeah, obviously from there, and a skinwalker has the ability to shapeshift into animals such as wolves, coyotes, and even a bear. They're apparently have dark powers. They're just kind of assholes. I mean,
I saw a picture, like an old cave drawing from the Indians.
mhm.
It's supposed to be the first depiction of a skinwalker. It's just a person with their hands up next to another person with their hands up, but one of them has cat ears. That's how you can tell. One is a person, and one isn't. And like Ugg next to him in the case. Oh,
We got those cat ears.
yeah,
That is a warlock.
that's an avatar.
And skinwalker is a derogatory term in the Navajo culture as well, because they're associated with deaf. They're so deaf they can't hear anything. Death, evil, and dark magic. So they got this.
What do you think? What do you call a girl that's very promiscuous and takes payment for evenings with men in the Navajo tribe? What do you call them? Navajos?
Navajos. Yep.
Hey, I got him today, boys. Let's go.
Let's go. He's rolling. I'm sitting there. I'm like, it's clearly a prostitute. And then
Nope, it's a Navajo.
Can't turn a Navajo into a housewife. Navajos don't act right. That's good. We'll be here all day, ladies and gentlemen. Stay here for the funny, punny jokes, or
Turning a new page.
Maybe you guys could check out all the other shows on the Beard Law Studio if you don't want to. But hopefully you don't sit around too long and get hemorrhoids. Because if you do, check out our friends of the show, Roid Rage.
Roid Rage. Just be angry at your pimpled, puckered butt put.
I am so glad that we are not the ones that need the Roid Rage cream, but hopefully Euban and Max get their buttholes fixed. But if you got a bad butthole, check out Roid Rage. RRHOID Rage. Interesting. Fiber in the hole.
Nice.
Did you get yours yet?
Me? I didn't know there was one coming to me. No,
I didn't. Oh, maybe you said you didn't, but yeah. So they have the fiber gummy, so you can take a gummy.
Oh, nice.
And be able to do there. And it's fiber in the hole.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize it was fiber gummies. I would have ate those.
Yeah, see, it's a dietary supplement. It's supposed to be able to help, I guess, cure the hemorrhoids. I opened them. They look good. They smell good. But I don't think I'm just going to take them to take them.
No, that's good. I'd take a fiber gummy in the morning.
Yeah? You think I should?
Yeah, why not? Take one on the show. Let's see what happens.
Okay. I mean, it's only 15 calories, 4 grams of sugar, some calcium, some sodium, some soluble corn fiber, magnesium, and cellulose.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Oh, you take 2. You can take 2 gummies a day. All right.
Yeah, dude. Take one through the mouth and one through the other way. Keep you from getting your...
But I love this. It's a veteran-owned company, and it says, don't be a dumbass, be a numbass.
Oh, it numbs your butthole.
Yeah, I mean, it's hemorrhoid cream.
I didn't know that's what hemorrhoid cream did. I didn't know.
Yeah, numbs it.
So it doesn't heal your hemorrhoids. It just numbs it so you can deal with it. Okay.
I think eventually, I don't know. I've never thankfully had to use it. They are a Texas company as well.
How's it smell?
It's still sealed. I'm not going to open that up to smell it. It's from Denton, Texas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very nice.
You know who doesn't need that? Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers.
I don't think they have hemorrhoids.
They can just switch into a different animal, a hemorrhoid-free animal, dude.
Yep.
If you could change it to an animal, what are you choosing into? Obviously to terrorize local farmers.
Yeah. Are you asking which one?
Yeah. Which animal would you use to terrorize? Bears, yeah.
I mean, if I had to go bear, wolf, or coyote, I feel like bear's the move, right?
Well, you got speed on your side with a coyote. Apparently you can trick somebody named Terry if you're a wolf. Mm-hmm. Bear, I feel like they're shooting you before even trying to get to know you.
Yeah. I don't know. Bears are pretty badass. I'm sticking with it.
Sir.
Sticking with it.
All right. Yeah, I think I go wolf, I think. Majestic ass beast.
They're pretty sweet too, especially if you can be the Dwayne Johnson of the wolves. But
Wolf the Dwayne Johnson.
Wolf the Dwayne Johnsons. But yeah, just kind of wrap this, the Ute tribe. They avoid the land because of especially the surrounding area of the Skinwalker Ranch due to the whole, this land is cursed. So they actually refer to the area as the place where the Skinwalkers live. It's a pretty creative name, huh? and they don't want to interact with the land. With the whether they don't want to put any crops. They just want nothing to do with it because of the supernatural forces that dwell there.
They had just about on top of running the tribes out. They had also ran most of the whites out of town as well.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who came a knocking? Mr. Brigham Young.
Oh.
So he sent some people that way to kind of scout out the land to see if it would be suitable for a Mormon settlement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they came back, and is the funniest term I've ever heard ever. They were like, "This land is wasteful. There's nothing there. Kind of sucks." But then they say this sentence that really got me. It made me laugh. It says, "It's only there to hold the earth together." The only reason it's there is just so we can get to the other side. There's other stuff over there. That's a pretty funny sentence, dude.
That is a funny sentence, and I don't know why my brain went here. We're not going to go down on a tangent, but maybe it's a future episode. I was just watching something with like this old map, and there's a spot on an older map near Antarctica that for years and legends, and it's all blacked out on maps. It's grayed out. It's blurred out. It's pretty much removed from maps, but it's the only place that for whatever reason every single country has been able to pretty much agree on some kind of law that prohibits anybody from visiting this certain place. And it's some kind of weird belief that there's actually some kind of extra land here that, I don't know, some weird stuff in Antarctica that's going on. And I've always heard that there's some weird stuff, but this one, this one's going to get added to the notes because I was super intrigued, and it just kind of, from what you saying, that kind of triggered that a little bit here. But speaking of trigger, should we talk about the Sherman family a little bit?
Old Terry Sherman, dude.
1994. The old
Sherman.
Terry and Gwen Sherman, and they had 2 children.
Yeah,
I don't know that
it was Tad and whatever the little kid or girl was, little girl, right? Is that their name was on here?
It's probably on there somewhere. I should have had better notes, but of course I don't. But they buy the over 100-acre property, and because they were looking for just a quiet little life in rural Utah. However, it didn't turn out that way, did it? But the one thing that they kind of noticed, obviously the wolf and some stuff like that, and a lot of other people did, was the old strange lights in the sky, which they thought were UFOs, even though back in the day UFOs didn't exist, right?
Yeah. Oh, this reminds me. So I'm trying to figure out if this actually. I'll hold off on it. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. No, you're good. Was it the livestock thing?
No, it was the orb.
Okay. Yeah, let's do this, and then we'll roll into the orb and stuff. Because
I don't know that it replies to this. I've kind of fallen into a little algorithm situation. I don't know if it applies to this.
I can relate to that. When this is becoming a lot more fun, and we are just kind of intertwining a lot of different stories and some things occasionally here. But they're on there. They see these strange lights. They see these UFOs, and this was one of the things in the documentaries that I was just mind blown, and I still really don't know, is the mutilation of the cows.
Yes.
And they're seeing one cow, then they're seeing another, and there's so many signs that these cows were like shocked and almost died of like fear from whatever it is that they saw. And eventually they're like, hey, we should probably cut one of these cows open. I don't know if that's my Utah voice or what it is. When they open up this cow, all of the organs had been removed, but there was no incision. There was like nothing. And they said that it was like, it wasn't just like somehow cut open and just like ripped out. Like it was surgically removed without an incision that would have shown a surgical property. Like that is wild.
Yeah, that's scary.
And what's even more scary, there wasn't a single drop of blood. All of the blood had been drained from the animal. So where the animal lies, there's like no signs of people. There's no signs of I mean, you cut open a cow and you're starting to take some organs. There is a lot of blood, I would have to imagine.
And the fun fact about that is no scavengers Like these cows have been dead for a little bit. No scavengers have showed up to kind of pick at these things.
Yeah, which you got coyotes in the area, birds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Ants, even ants. Something, nothing. Nothing's touching.
Nothing would touch that, and that's kind of an odd, I think, thing that has happened with a lot of different things that have UFO claims, whether abductions, whether these cow mutilations, which people reported all over the place. The lack of animals that just will not go near any of that stuff. And even when we talked about Mel's Hole, the animals wanted nothing to do with old Mel's Hole.
I, do you? What do you do if you find that animal? Do you say, "I'm not going to waste it"? Somebody basically cleaned it for me. You know?
I don't think I think I'm having nothing to do with it. I mean, I guess that's what I say, but what could really happen? I don't think I'm eating it though. If I got other cows and I'm not starving.
There was one story of one of the cows having a fist size hole near the rectum where the rectum had been removed, fist size, about 8 inches deep. It was found by the son. How do you think he told his dad that? Hey, Dad, I just found a cow with a hole 8 inches. I can stick my entire. Well, don't worry, there's a hole in there. There's a hole there. Just like
Yeah, that's a tough one to explain. I feel like I would let Dad figure that one out on its own.
Oh, I mean, he's like 17, I think, at this time. He's almost a man. It's just not a lot of women folk out on the ranch, dude.
I would have to imagine not. It's just I don't understand this. And it's obviously the Skinwalker Ranch isn't the first and only place that has these cow mutilations. They're everywhere linked to UFO stuff, and that just it blows my mind. Like, what is it? Like a trial run? Is it? It would be an elaborate hoax, right?
An elaborate hoax, man, dog. I mean, what is the definition of a hoax in your brain? I know we can look up what the actual definition is, but like, can a hoax involve death and stuff like that? I thought everything's supposed to be fake.
I would agree with you there. And this is not so fake, but even if it is a hoax, I don't think us, let alone a rancher, is going to have the technology to pull off taking organs from a cow with no surgical marks.
By the way, it's what, 97, 96 by this time?
Roughly.
They got camcorders.
Yeah.
Why is there no footage? Nada.
There was footage of the mutilated cows and stuff when they were found.
I didn't see it. Okay.
Yeah. I remember on that documentary, like they were going out and there was footage of like, hey, there was footages of these cows. And like I can picture it in my brain, and and if I remember to do it when I do some editing, thanks to old Trumpy, and I can potentially use CapCut now and put the images back in there. But I remember seeing these cows, and I'm like, oh, it is weird. And I mean, where I am, I'm in farm country. Like there's cows everywhere in the fields, this and that. And then I've seen, my friends are farmers. You see dead cows, you see dead calves. They're dead. They still look like this. When you're looking at these mutilated ones, you're like, what is this thing? They're almost unrecognizable. And like you said, not a fly, not an ant, not a bird. The coyotes aren't coming to feed on that. That happens here. You got a little bit of some time here, and you gotta put this somewhere where that the coyotes and some stuff, the scavengers, are coming to get it.
Forgive me if I'm jumping ahead here, but they found the cows that would, like, quote unquote, walk away from the herd. Mm-hmm. And they would go into the woods following his tracks. Had great tracks, easy to follow. And then all of a sudden the tracks stop, and there's like a circle of twigs and leaves and stuff around, like a perfect circle, like Blair Witch style, right where the trails end. Crazy.
That is, yeah, I don't get it.
So far, we're all hearing this from just the Sherman family, which makes me wonder.
Really makes me wonder.
I wonder. Yeah. I don't know about old Terry. Don't know about old Terry. But
what do they have to gain really in the 90s by just making, not yeah, whether they're making it up or doing this story, it's not like there's a finance. It's not like Skinwalker Ranch is like a tourist place. I mean, they are really trying to be ranchers, you know.
Well, I mean, so, what makes them? What's the next step after that wolf encounter that we just covered? What's the very next step? Was that the last straw, or
So I mean, we had that, and then there was the wolf story. Obviously, we talked about, and then other just a little bit of some odd phenomena that we kind of already talked about with the strange lights, the animals. There was just unexplained animal behaviors that would happen all over different, whether it was the cows, the dogs, the birds. And I think there was one thing too that I remember when you were kind of talking about this, the cow area within the tracks and all that stuff was there.
Mhm.
The like birds wouldn't fly near there. They wouldn't fly. There was like no new growth with certain trees and stuff like that, which is kind of weird. With like
which
what's that
sucks as a
radiation
farmer?
type shit? Yeah, that's not a big thing. But then there was just disappearance of even more animals. Like there was just cows just missing. You know what I mean? To the point where they were thinking that there was like back in the day with Billy the Kid and stuff that people were stealing
Just
stealing
stealing
stuff.
cows.
But the UFO sightings definitely became very common, and people described the crafts that hovered and just kind of moved erratically in ways that no aircraft could. So I mean, there's
Yeah,
something.
they talked about like some of these were pretty wild. So they describe every single night at a certain time. There's an orange, what they describe as an orange smudge across the bottom of the sky, and then they start talking about portals, and they could
Yep.
see other worlds through and stuff like that. But they would see these UFOs, and they would go in and out of there. Some of the UFOs were described as these little teeny tiny things. Some of them had little two lights that looked like headlights but could light up the entire side of a mountain. And another person described one of them as being roughly 4 football fields long, which is Independence Day big. You know, that's gigantic.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But yeah,
a
pretty. I just say it.
bright lights that have been reported and described appearing in shapes that resemble portals and doorways. Is why. What does a portal even look like? I mean, you
I
mentioned
mean,
it,
I
and
think we're imagining like a ring light that you can walk through and see the other side. You know.
is that how the inventor of the ring light came up with it? They're like, "Oh,
Oh, for sure. I
Skinwalker
mean,
Ranch, that looks like that. Let's make one for all of our, social medias. Make everybody look so much better."
have you ever played the game Portal?
I don't think so. No.
Super fun game, dude. It's a puzzle game, but
Okay.
you essentially have to make a portal to the other side, to get through these rooms, and it's pretty neat. But it's essentially that you walk through a portal, and you pop out another place.
No shit. Imagine if they
Um,
had this here. I wonder where it popped out.
I mean,
That land in Antarctica.
there's a theory that Old Mill's Hole's a portal.
Ooh.
So,
Mm-hmm. Big portal show we are now.
I mean, I don't know if it makes the notes, but we got potentially a little Sasquatch situation coming up here
Mm-hmm.
in the old Skinwalker area that might be a portal hopper. You just got squatched.
Squatch. Or no, the other jerky company.
What is it?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm picturing the commercials, but either way, yeah. Not as cool, but hey, now that Trump saved TikTok, you guys can get on there and see the Sasquatch that plays the trump or the saxophone. You ever seen that?
Saxophone. No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's a Sasquatch. Whether you think it's a person or an actual Sasquatch in a suit, and they just crank out some saxophone tunes for a long time.
Not
Never
mad at it.
never talk, never. Pretty good saxophone player. Check it out. But then,
So
where do we want to go next? Do we want to talk
I
about the
think
government
I
involvement?
think I want to talk about the guy who buys the property next, Mr. Robert Bigelow,
Bigelow.
a billionaire who
Mm-hmm.
did very well with real estate investments and things of that nature, commercial real estate. I believe he owns. Oh man, you're gonna know the name too. I should have wrote it down. He is like the first version of what's his name, Elon. Bigelow developed estates, hotels. Bigelow, 15,000 units and purchased another 8. I don't know. Anyways, he owns. God dang it! What is the name of it?
Was it Robert Bigelow?
Yeah, Robert Bigelow. What did he make his money from? Real estate. You'll know the name, dude. It's crazy. All they're gonna want to talk about is this Skinwalker stuff, but
Yeah. It just keeps saying hoteler.
yeah, Budget Suites of America.
Oh.
Okay, he started that chain in 1987 and just threw it across America and just made tons of money. But whenever he was, I believe, 5 or 6, he was with his grandparents, and his grandparents swore up and down they saw a UFO, and that stuck with old Bobby B. Stuck with him, and he's like, okay, well, now I just want to study paranormal stuff, and I'm going to do whatever. He's a cleaner.
He's cleaner.
He knew what he wanted. He made his money so that he could just start the NIDS, NIDS, which I forget what it stands for, but it's National Institute of something, maybe. I don't know. Trust me, people. I'm a podcaster.
National Institution for Discovery Science.
Yes, he starts this, and he is the #1 funder for paranormal studies. Nobody has put more money into paranormal studies than this man. And he still does. He's 80-something, 84 now? 80. He's 80 now. Still does it. He's all into it. So he buys Skinwalker Ranch for, I believe, $220,000 or something like that, which is a steal.
Seems like a steal.
But here's the thing. Oh, yeah. So he makes the Sherman family sign an NDA. Yep. Stop talking,
You say nothing. And this is, just to kind of put a time frame, he buys it in 96, shortly after the old wolf incident.
I think that was the last straw. I remember in this thing I was looking at, something was the last straw. They're like, we're getting rid of this. Well, that's when old Bobby B came and showed up. And
Bobby B, baby.
So he hires a few scientists and professors and things of that nature to go out to the property, and that's where they're going to live. They put up laboratories. They put up all sorts of crazy equipment and stuff like that. So one thing that did come out of this was they had some sort of machine that could calculate what's in blood, like immediately. Now it changed medical something for the 90s, but it all based off of the Skinwalker Ranch.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
But here's the funny thing, dude. Actually, before I say the funny thing, they send out thousands of letters to all the surrounding properties saying, please let us know if there's any missing or mutilated animals on your properties. We need to know. We're here to study it. Please cooperate. Please, 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 please. So they start finding some mutilated things on the property again. But guess who was hired as a ranch hand?
I'm going to go with Austin Kutcher.
No. Oh. No, is Mr. Terry Sherman.
Oh.
Yeah. Old Bobby B kept old Terry Sherman in as a ranch hand. And it seems like he seems to know where to find some things.
I mean, when you got a couple hundred acres, well, Terry knows it pretty well. I mean, they owned it. And what's wild too, because they owned it 94 to only 96. Yeah. And then on record, right before that, there was a Kenneth and Edith Myers who actually owned the ranch from the 1934 to 1994. But there's no records that I was able to find of who owned the ranch before 34. Obviously, older, not great records. Was it just kind of some land, and these people developed it, what the ranch is today? And then obviously, Bobby B, he owns it, and then there's a different owner. But I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves if you got in there what we're talking about the old, because like you said, I mean, Robert Bigelow did a lot.
Oh, yeah, he did a lot of things.
Because they even started to install infrared cameras, EMF detectors, electronic field, radio frequency analyzers, night vision cameras. I mean, this is a lot of technology in 96 that is You're probably going, oh, really, night vision? God, well, I mean, a lot of this technology was really only used and available to people in military.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously, if you're a
And
billionaire,
if you're a
you're going to
billionaire,
get your hands
yeah.
on some shit. But
He really is the Elon Musk equivalent. Like where Elon wanted to go to space, this dude just wanted to see anything that was like paranormal or UFO.
yep. And with that being said, too, this kind of just triggered back to that documentary when they brought these devices. The readings from the electromagnetic fields and everything like that were off the charts, and they would just randomly go crazy, especially in the areas with the cow mutilation. I mean, just they'd have the detectors, and it just and then it would just be a pegged, giggity, and just move, and it's just wild. Like, what's going on in there? I mean, that, and then you just had electrical disturbances, flickering cameras would just shut off unexpectedly. Which, if you watch some ghost shows and some paranormal and all these other things, that stuff happens. I don't know why it does. Maybe it's just for show, but they shouldn't just shut off.
So does what is a cryptid? Is that would a skinwalker fall under a cryptid title? Yeah, cryptid. This is something that has come up numerous times on my research over the last few weeks. The word cryptid. I don't know what that is though.
So a cryptid is it's a creature that is said to exist, but has not been proven to actually exist.
Okay.
Which I guess would fall under that. Like we said, potentially Skinwalker, Sasquatch, I guess technically.
Sasquatch is definitely a cryptid.
The Loch Ness Monster is one. The Jersey Devil, the El Chupacabra, Mothman. I've never heard of this one. A Tatsila worm or whatever, a worm-like cryptid that is said to eat cattle and the dead.
Okay. I don't know how you did that. These things are supposedly in a lake nearby, the Skinwalker Ranch. Also talked about by the it's called, I wrote it down, Bottle Hollow. Did that come up in any of the notes? Yeah, so apparently back in the day, there was kind of an outlaw town near there. And as people were walking by, they would just toss their whiskey bottles in there, so much piled up that it became Bottle Hollow. Well, since then, it's been filled in, but it's been like Bottle Hollow Lake or something like that now.
Yeah, which is also the Ute Indian tribe.
Oh, okay. Boom. Okay, see, it's all coming back to me, dog.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yeah, apparently there's some crazy, like, scary snakes down there, whatever you just said they were.
The worms, the Tutsalo, I'm not going to say it right, but yeah, some kind of worm. And they even spelled it WRM. At least it's not Canadian where they add an O and a U to make color.
Worm.
Sons of bitches.
Worm.
But yeah, the Bottle Hollow Recreation Area is actually currently undergoing project designs for recreation upgrades in the future. They're going to put some overnight camp and some restrooms, little picnic tables. They're going to make this a nice tourist attraction. Just don't bring your cattle because they're going to get sucked.
Feed your animals to the worms. I'm sorry, I took it.
Oh no, it's good because
the story, but
it's just crazy that like what's in the water in here? Is it all the extra salt stuff that's in Utah? I mean, there's that area right there in the Ute tribe. Is it the cursed land? I mean, what is going on here? I mean, there's something, right?
Is it anywhere near we know anybody that we could send out on assignment?
I mean, I got to be honest. I think the only two people I know from Utah are Logan and Tyson, and I'm not sure exactly. Are they
anywhere near this? That's all I was thinking about too. Is Logan and Tyson.
I mean, it can't be. Utah is not that huge of a state, so I mean, I have to imagine it's not that far because it wasn't that far of a drive for them to get to Vegas.
Good point.
Utah.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, if any of the listeners want to go check out this place,
check it out for it. Well, are you checking the reservoir or the Skinwalker? Because you can't get on the Skinwalker Ranch. I don't believe.
Dude, where there's a will, there's a way.
But if anybody happens to know Brandon Fugel, which is he's the current owner, bought it in 2016 from the old Bobby B.
Yeah, knows him. But what does he do? Because he's a name as well.
He is he's into real estate as well. A
Yeah,
Delaware limited liability company based in Salt Lake City, Utah, filed a trademark against this as well. That's some other
I
stuff.
I believe he's like a big time. If I remember correctly from what I saw, he's like a big time sci-fi nerd, dude.
Yeah, he's a real estate developer and tech investor. So yeah, super nerd.
Like he owns the jacket that Schwarzenegger wore in Terminator. He
Ooh.
owns the robe that Marlon Brando wore whenever he sent Zod into the prison planet on Superman. You know, just like he owns like weird like sci-fi stuff. He's a big time nerd.
Interesting.
Man, nerd with money's got a rule, dude.
And he was associated with obviously owning the ranch, but the shows that I think that we're talking about is The Secret of the Skinwalker Ranch, which came out and has been a thing since 2020, and then Beyond Skinwalker Ranch was in 2023.
Oh, you want to see something funny? Why don't you go ahead and look up how much old Bobby B sold that for?
Let's
He
see.
did well. You could tell he's into real estate. He does good.
And this new guy, Brandon, also was into the real estate as well.
Yeah.
Let's see, because you said it was
Sold it
he
for
bought
like
it for,
$220,000. He bought it from the Shermans.
let's see here. So according to the purchase, it says he bought it for about 500,000.
Oh, bought it for 500.
Yep.
The number that it said for me is 220. Okay, either way.
Yep.
What do you
So
sell it for?
it says Fugel bought the ranch through a shell corporation called whatever. It doesn't matter. Real estate. He paid about $500,000 for the property.
Okay.
Then
For
he hired a scientific team to investigate it as well. And then he invested in equipment, did the investigation, and then he was featured on those shows that we talked about. So even if he got it for around two, I mean, that guy doubled his money.
Bobby B sold it? I mean, man, what I read, Bobby B sold it for like 2.1 million or something like that.
Oh, that's what I mean. According, like I said, that's the current owner in 2016.
I don't like that information.
Making me so it's right here. Brandon Fugel purchased the Skinwalker Ranch in Utah in 2016 from Robert Bigelow, the founder of Bigelow Aerospace. Fugel's goal was to investigate the strange stuff, and this says he paid about $500,000 for it.
How am I going to die a legend if you keep correcting me?
It's not me correcting you. It's the Google AI overview.
I feel like a horse's patoot. Ooh, right?
A patoot.
Like a horse's patoot that got burned out by an alien of some sort of skinwalker.
And mutilated and disappeared.
Yeah, like Tad was in me and then told his dad it was a beast.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine accidentally killing the prize animal and just having to come up with a story about a skinwalker? And it all comes from Tad trying to hide something?
Yeah, Tad was into making love to farm animals. When we moved out to Utah, we came for a fresh start, and we said, no more sheep. We'll only have cattle.
We loved old Bessie. We did. One night I heard the bell around her neck ringing a little too much. Then it stopped. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I guess, what are we thinking about this portal thing? That's the one that's really been a thing. The
portal thing is where you get more than just the Shermans talking. You get some of the scientists that are working at NIDS. We're working for Bobby B. And they start seeing what can only be described as, really just a Sasquatch. It's a bipedal, hairy beast that is going fairly fast, not really concerned about people. They said is less hairy above the shoulders and around the face area, less hairy. So that, to me, describes what the beef jerky one.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem I have, dude, is a few people saw this thing, and it's around 2007 when these start popping up. That's the same year as the iPhone came out, which means we at least every camera for every phone for the last 3 years prior to that had a camera on it. Why is nobody snapping pictures?
Nobody. With trail cams, all of this technology. They have spent a lot of money putting different technology and cameras and stuff out there.
I didn't even think about trail cams. What the hell, Bobby B? What the hell?
Yeah, those have been
What the hell, Bobby?
And that's kind of what all these Bigfoot skeptics have always been like. Listen, not only is why is everything just grainy video footage when you're in areas where you zoom in, but it's like there's trail cams everywhere. You're telling me that nobody's caught one on a trail cam yet? I mean,
Well, it's because they go into the portal.
yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of researchers that have all of this scientific data that do suggest that there's these parallel universes. There's, a fabric of reality that might actually be a little bit thinner that allow kind of these anomalies like disappearances, time distortion, maybe moving a ship that we talked about a little bit, or even alien encounters.
Hide and seek world champs, dude.
I mean, it's just, you see these things open up in the sky, maybe into the woods. I mean, I've never seen anything that crazy to say, wow, this exists. But I feel like the universe, the world there's so many unknowns to rule it out and be like, there's no such thing as a goddamn portal. I feel like I can't really say that either,
I don't want to say there's no such thing. There are some things that feel like they're made up.
Mm-hmm.
But also, cryptids. Not proven.
Cryptids.
You don't know, dude.
Yep. Now, do you think...
Do you want to know? Do you want to know that these monsters exist? Because that would freak you out, dude. It would freak you out to find out it was real. Like, us finding out aliens are real, cool. Until we see one. And I think that would mess with you a little more.
I mean, if you get in a certain, maybe even post an episode every once in a while in the wrong Reddit thread, they're going to come at you and say, listen, you're not showing us. They've been here all along. The aliens are here.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, I'm a real big. I'm gonna be a real Scully about this, dude.
Okay.
I need to see it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But then at the same time, I don't want to see it because that's scary.
I want someone else to be able to see it and put it out there online. Then I can see it that way. I don't want to see it.
But I've seen aliens 1,000 times online that they're not real. They're AI or whatever
Mm-hmm.
As the only way to truly know is if you see it with your own eyes, but then do you really want to see it? Right?
Yeah. I think I'm good.
Dude, I mean, this isn't even a knock on you, but if you told me you saw something, it wouldn't affect me as much as if I saw it myself. And now I would just be like, wow, that's crazy, dude. And then move on with my life. But if it happened to me, I wouldn't be able to shut up about it, dude. You would have to shut this show down. Every episode would be like, yeah, but one time, dude, right in my backyard.
Who knows? Maybe the government, maybe NIDS comes in and goes, we're going to Men in Black you. You saw nothing.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, you don't know if that's happened or not, right?
Exactly.
I watched we could do a whole thing on the Men in Black, dude. I watched a thing about the real Men in Black. Pretty interesting.
We got to put it in the notes. It's intriguing. Right when they're going to bring out another Men in Black, that's the time we do it, so we can pull in those extra views.
Good point. So
let me ask you this: is a guy that had some religion, or has some religion in your life? Do you believe that potentially that the land could be cursed? I know it's not overly what you deem as a religion. You're a religion, but it's out there. It's some kind of religion with the cursings and stuff like that, and the Native American stuff. Like, do you believe that this land, or any land, could be cursed?
No, I do not. I believe if I put a curse on you, okay, here, Matt, I'm going to put a curse on you.
No, I have enough shit going on.
But if you stub your toe later, the first thing you think about is, hey, I was cursed. Oh, no. That's what people think curses are, dude. Is like, it's woo-woo. Now, do I think there could be a home for something that we don't understand? Maybe. Mm-hmm. Maybe. But curses? Nah, it's a little silly, dude. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Like, I mean, I know that there's routines, or not routines, but rituals and some other things like that they said that they could try to bring some malevolence, some dark forces, some dark energy or something to the land. I have to imagine with our technology, like if that was a more thing, a lot more bad people would be doing this. In there would be a lot more cursed places. There would be a lot more witchcraft and all that stuff that would be happening. And
music would be a lot better.
music would be wild.
Yeah, oh yeah, damn it. Damn it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I trust Mr. Terry that much, but I do believe that if there's enough smoke, there's fire somewhere, right? And there's enough of
It's
these
LA.
people saying the same. Yeah, if there's enough smoke, there's the Palisades. Um, and I really do believe that something might be going on. Whether maybe it's just something crazy magnetic messing with their gauges or something. But that's still kind of cool in itself too. Why?
Yeah, why
You
is it?
know?
And
Yeah.
that's what a lot of the science. Of course, you get the scientists in there, and they're like, "Well, let me tell you, this is my scientist voice. It's natural environmental factors. Whether it's geological formations, the electromagnetic fields are through there, and
Now
that's what
that
they're
is
kind of saying. Like, naturally, it's causing some weird stuff. If the electromagnetic fields are so there, you could maybe start potentially seeing some things, feeling like crap. That's why the animals aren't around. But I don't know how you explain the whole cow thing. That's
there's
still
the cow thing's odd for sure. That one I'm not even going to try to attempt
mm-mm.
to understand, but there was a lot of mention in a lot of the stories, and not just from the Shermans, about uh, like a bad smell whenever these things were around.
Yep.
Somebody said eggs, and then in my head I went, well, is there like a natural gas something around? And won't that make people act kind of funky and see things? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to imagine it would give a little bit of some paranoia, some hallucinations, really mess with the brain. Maybe start to see some lights and
Is
some
it?
stuff. I mean, they had a TV show and all of the researchers, all of the stuff. I have to imagine if they found something wild and they're spending all that money with kind of the passion of the nerd and the paranormal and all that stuff, they're going to release some stuff. And if you're not seeing a bunch of crazy things from there, did they really find anything?
What's funny is, did you even look up what Terry Sherman looked like?
I've seen a picture, but I'm gonna do it again. And then I saw the other guys that we looked up there. Terry Sherman.
I did not look. I never looked up Terry Sherman. What he looked like? Um, I'm having trouble finding him actually.
Oh, so there's I don't know the one image that I'm seeing seems like a I don't know if this was actually him, but that's what I'm picturing in my brain. And this came up.
Yeah, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to see Tad, and I want to see, I want to see Terry, Terry
I
and
mean,
Tad.
there's more pictures of I know that's hard to see on the phone, but of a similar looking guy, just your typical flannel, belt buckle, little hat. But that is
I mean,
interesting.
if it's that many acres, it seems like we could send somebody on location that can get on that property, camp out without being noticed, at least for a night.
I have to imagine it's guarded, it's secured, right?
No, dude, it's secured. I mean, if if beasts can get in, dude, there's something you need to know about me, dog.
All
I
we got to
got
do is
I
get a
got
hold of
miles
Mister
and
Beast.
miles of heart, dude. And
Oh,
when it comes down to it, I can become a beast. How about that?
how about that? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think we wrap this up. That's
I figure I wish we had a way to be like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe this type of thing? I don't know. How do we end every show? Something like that.
that's a good idea.
There's got to be something like that.
We're gonna work on that for next week. We're gonna have a killer outro where you guys can say, on the tinfoil tail scale, what would you say? A 10, like, yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. It's got the Skinwalkers. It's got portals. It's got everything. I 100% believe it. This is crazy. Or a 1, like,
I'll
no, it's all stupid. It's scientifically proven. Don't even need to go there anymore.
I'll start it. Drop this one at 7.3. There you go.
Okay. My first number
7.3.
was a 6.4. 6.4.
Let's go. All right.
There we go.
Do we
6.4.
want to
So
tease
that
next
puts
week,
us
or we just want to?
that puts us at about a 6, 7, 6, 8 collectively, roughly.
I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
go
let's
next.
tease them. Let's tease them a little bit.
What do you want to do? Which one do you want to do?
Let's go.
We have a few choices. We got the one I told you about right for the show.
I kind of feeling that one. I
Okay,
feel like I want to dig into that one.
that one's an off the wall. Where is it at? I just put it in the note thing.
And I mean, yeah, like I said,
Oh,
we're not
okay.
gonna
Here it is. Here he is. Legend of Polybius.
Legend of Polybius.
It's about
That's
a
different. That's interesting. When you started to kind of before we pressed record, tell me about that. Like I was super intrigued, and it's been in the
yeah.
back of my brain the whole entire
We
recording.
mentioned the MIB, and they might have a little role in this.
Ooh.
So
There we go. So come back next week if you want to listen to this. Go check out all the other episodes. Mel's Hole. It's a good laugh either way. And this is fun. We can't thank you enough. And if you have a more creative name for Triple T, let us know because that's the beauty of it. It can be whatever it's want. But hey, now that TikTok's back at the time of the recording, it can still be TikTok Tuesday, baby.
oh hell yeah.
But either way, hopefully everybody in the old state of Tejas stays safe at the time of this is coming out. Burley's probably getting the day off of work, and it's gonna be a little cold for
We
you.
might all die.
I mean, being too cold, that would suck. I don't know what that would be like. But stay safe with all this coldness heading your way. At least we're built for it up here, and I'm surprised my voice held up. And again, can't thank you guys enough. We'll see you next week. That's all I got. You got anything else?
Toodaloo.
Bye bye.